everyone, how's it going? Welcome to, oh I'm quite sad, it's the 8th workshop, which means it's the last workshop of series 3 of Harp at Home with myself, Rachel Hare. Yeah, it's sad day that it's the last workshop. I've really enjoyed filming these again. It's been a pleasure to spend a 3rd series with you all, teaching my favourite songs, and of course the kind of big thing for this series was the Harp at Home suite. I've just received so many lovely messages about that. I've been asking you what your highlights have been, and yeah, the air section was quite a highlight. Now, you've still got to come actually. I will record a video of that all being played through. Hopefully next week. I will see how my time goes. I will email you, of course, if you're in the newsletter to tell you when that is out. So do make sure you sign up to the newsletter at harpathome.com. And also make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/harpathome, and that will mean that you'll get notified when that video is up. It won't be premiered as such. I'll just kind of pop it on when it's ready, if you know what I mean. So yeah, and I will play you the whole suite and I'll take you through just the join up sections. So yeah, that will be up at some point. So thank you so much for supporting me through all this again. Thank you for purchasing the PDF. It just helps me on my way a little bit. Yeah, because we didn't really think this pandemic would go on for that long, but it has. We're nearly a year now, but it's okay. I've become an expert at filming and editing films for YouTube. Lockdown skills, as they say. So, but we're on our final tune today, and we're going to return to the Isle of Man. And we're actually going to pop over there now, and we're going to have a wee chat with a good friend of mine, a lassie called Ruth Keggin, who's a fantastic Manx Gaelic singer. You might have heard me speaking about her last week on the Blether, because we have a very important project that we're about to launch. The pair of us are going to record an album together. We're so excited. And we really need your help, because we're going to be doing a crowdfunder for it, and it's a bit of a strange crowdfunder in that we crowdfund, but it's also a competition to get to our goals first, because if we get to the goals first, Creative Scotland will double our money. So it's really, it's a bit of a strange one, to be honest, but it's also a really quite cool one, because we will definitely get match funded for £1,000, but after that it's first to hit the goal. So we're going to be in a race with like 19 other kind of creatives all crowdfunding at the same time. So please, 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 when it opens, which is going to be on the 22nd of March, if you could support us, we'd be really grateful, and we'd be doubly grateful if you could support us like ASAP when it opens, because that means we're in closer, yeah, we've got more of a possibility of getting the match funding for the full project. As I say, it's a strange one, but it's really nice to have a new goal on the horizon. But anyway, I am babbling, I'm blethering on already, and it's not even the blethering section, dear me. So we're going to get Ruth on the Zoom, and we're going to have a wee chat with her, and she's also going to tell you a little bit about the song that I'm going to be teaching you later. And today we are welcoming, yes, Miss Ruth Keggin from the Isle of Man. Ruth, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you, Rach? You well?
Not bad, not bad. I understand you guys have taken the sun for today, because it's very grey here in Glasgow this morning.
Yeah, I've just had to actually draw the curtains a little bit because it was beaming in on my face, so it's...
Oh, well, I'm hopeful. Like, I always joke with my students that I ask them what the weather is, and then I say it'll be like that here in 2 hours' time once it kind of works its way over up here.
Fingers crossed, fingers crossed.
Indeed. So I've got you on today because we are doing another tune from the Isle of Man. We're learning a Manx song, and well, you are from the Isle of Man and you're a singer. So I was just going to kind of introduce you to our audience. And so whereabouts, can you tell us whereabouts you're from on the Isle of Man?
So I'm on the very southwest coast of the Isle of Man, just really very towards the very tip of the Isle of Man, actually, at the south end. I live in a little town called Port Arrane, and if I look out of my window on a really clear day, sometimes I can see Ireland. I can see the mountains of Mourne in the north, so that's really, really nice. And it's a beautiful place, a lovely beach. So if you want to Google Port Arrane, you'll see where I live.
My mum used to go on holiday to Port Arrane when she was wee. She used to go over from Ireland and like, yeah, stay in one of the kind of the hotels, I think, that was kind of like up on the hill, kind of going up to not far from where you are, I think, actually.
Yeah, I'm nearly up that sort of area, up the top end of Port Erin. Yeah, that's cool. I never knew that.
Yeah, there you go. So, and you're a professional musician and you teach Manx, but how did you kind of get started in music? Did you learn music as a youngster, and was it always Manx music that you've played? What's been your story?
It's a bit of a mixture actually. So I have done classical stuff as well as trad. But I got into music quite young. I mean, I've always loved music. It's one of those things that I begged my mum to have flute lessons when I was younger. I heard a tape of James Galway playing when I was up at visiting my cousin's house in Scotland, and she had this tape of James Galway, and I thought it was the best thing ever. And so I begged my mum to have flute lessons, and on the Isle of Man, when I was growing up, we had free music lessons for anybody, for kids growing up, going through the school system. So it meant that regardless of economic background, there was a lot of, you could access lessons really, which is brilliant. So it's seen a lot of really good musicians come through the system. So I started on flute, and then started on piano a little bit later. And I always sang and I always listened to songs growing up, like loads of music by the likes of Kappa Cayley and people like that, bands like that. But I didn't sing formally until quite a lot later. And oddly enough, so having done some folk stuff and some trad and some classical, I came to singing a lot later because I actually developed tendonitis in my wrists. And so I went off and did a music degree, and in my first year was really struggling with the fact I wasn't really able to play much on the flute or the piano because it was giving me a load of pain. And someone said, why don't you actually go down the route of singing, because you've got a really good voice? And so I thought that's a really good thing to do. And I was missing the Isle of Man a lot at that point as well. So that's really kind of the two things sort of coincided at the same time. Got more involved in singing and also got more involved in the language scene of the time as well, and Manx Gaelic singing. So that's my story.
Fantastic. And it's Manx Gaelic that you tend to sing in mostly, is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. So Manx is the native language of the Isle of Man, and it's really, really closely related to Irish and Scottish Gaelic. So, it's really great because we can kind of understand bits and bobs of Irish and Scottish Gaelic, kind of depending on regions where people are from speaking it. But yeah, it's a really rich tradition, and it's really like alive and kicking as well. There's loads of people learning Manx now and speaking Manx, and so it's a really nice part to community to be part of.
Yeah, fantastic. I think I've spoken about on our workshops before about the place where I teach on the Isle of Man is Culture Vannin, where you actually are the Manx language officer just now, and the room that I teach in has got the most kind of amazing kind of backdrop of Manx sayings, kind of just words in Manx, and I'm always kind of like teaching and kind of glancing up at them and trying to work out what they are, because I know Scottish Gaelic and I find that I have to kind of get into the Manx head of pronunciation. Then I go, oh yeah, that means that means, oh of course, yeah, that's like that, and like the kind of relationship between the two languages.
That's it, because the thing is that you're absolutely right, the way that they look is different. So when I go up to Scotland and I look at the road signs, I kind of sound it out and then I go, yeah, that would be that in Manx, yeah. But the orthography is totally different, and that's because Manx got written down a lot later, because there was a smaller population, so less amount of literate people to be able to write it down for. So they didn't write it down until, like when they wanted basically to do the Bible and the Book of Prayer and things like that to get to a bigger population, to be able to preach. Really, that's kind of when it got started to be written down.
Fantastic. And so obviously you're on the Isle of Man and you're kind of working as the Manx language officer, but still doing quite a bit of singing. And did I ask, have you got anything new little projects coming up?
Oh yes, Rach, I do. I believe you and I are planning to create an album together of harp and voice music, which will be very, very exciting.
Yes.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I've been telling our folk about it already, and I'm going to talk about it more in the bledder section at the end. But yes, we've had many Zoom sessions kind of planning out the album, and we've kind of been sending recordings back and forth, which has been lots of fun. So,
yeah,
so
technology is such a good thing for making these things happen. So
exactly. Well, I'm really excited to be working with you, and yeah, it's nice to be having something new to be doing, and something that's from the Isle of Man, as it's been such a kind of, for the past, you know, kind of 10 odd years, it's been such an important life of my musical kind of life as well.
yeah, absolutely. You've done so much for Manx music as well, and so it's exciting. I can't wait to work with you either. So yay.
So, and today is part of our workshop. So it's the last workshop of our series 3, and it's a kind of farewell one. And we're going to be learning a kind of very straightforward, quite pared back arrangement of the Manx song Arrane Oie Vie. I think that's one that you know. It's probably, would I be right to say, it's one of the most kind of well-known ones, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. It was, well, it is something that you often hear sung at the end of sessions. So, you know, people are like just meeting in the pub and having a few tunes and a few songs, and then people tend to leave, you know, and they'll sing Arrane Oie Vie, and it's a way of kind of marking the night at the end of a night, or maybe some of the gatherings as well. You sometimes hear it sung. So yeah, it's a lovely, lovely song. And it just means good night song. So Oie Vie is good night, and Arrane is, as you'll know, is the song, because it's very similar in Gaelic, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, Arrane, yeah. Although, yeah, it's a lovely one, and I remember that we did it as part of, or I think we did. Remember when we did Dave Kilgallen's The Gathering piece,
Yeah,
both as part of Crinja on the Isle of Man, and then at the Lorient Festival, we did an arrangement of Arrane Oie Vie, didn't we?
yeah, and it kind of got put into Cornish and Breton and Welsh and Manx, and yeah, it was cool. Like
Yeah, that was an amazing project. I kind of keep on going like that to Dave to try to get him to do more of that, and yeah, slowly keep on nudging him, and I'm sure he'll kind of get round to kind of doing it again.
Yeah.
Great.
No,
Well, thank you so much, Ruth. And I think you're going to sing it for us now, if that's okay.
I can do indeed. Do you want me to tell everyone what it's about first as well?
Yeah, actually, that would be really nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So the words basically mean it's time to go home and go to bed. The very stool that's under me, so you'll be sitting under the stool. I think it's really thinking about pub culture. This song really is ushering me to move. It's basically, after that is going, we've got to make a move. It's just repeating itself. Time is drawing near to go to bed. And the second verse is my good boys, which you sometimes hear to be just translated as darkness is drawing in. I think it's to try and make it less gendered, you know? Yeah. So people now say darkness is drawing in. And we must go home. The hearth is growing dark, and the warm light of the hearth is going. It's our sign to go to rest, and it's almost time to say good night. So that's it. So I shall sing it for you now. So
thank you, and I'll put the words and the translation in the PDF, everyone, for you, that you can download as well. So thank you so much, Ruth.
No problem. Te tregol tai as gold the lie, tan stolte fong greniach mirom, te sign o dun a glea te tandas treneliava. Me Yelian vai sein dun goltai tan duet ter chalach te gainiach shin da goldalai te bonus tre de gre Evai.
Amazing, thank you. So lovely to hear you sing when I'm on the Zoom call, because so often we're just sending things back and forth, so it's lovely to hear you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, and I hope everyone enjoys learning Arrane Oie Vie as well.
Thank you.
Lovely to speak to you. See you, Rach. Himu.
Bye. Lovely to speak to Ruth there. I've not seen her in person for over a year, but we've been having a lot of Zoom chats and it's just really nice to connect with her again. And yeah, huge thank you to her for explaining about the song that I'm going to be teaching you today. The song air called Arrane Oie Vie, the Goodnight Song. It's quite a suitable one, I feel, for the farewell song, farewell tune for this series. So thank you to Ruth for singing it. I'm going to play it to you now and then we'll go and learn it. It's quite a reflective song, I feel, Arrane Oie Vie. It's got a kind of very simple melody, very still. So I hope you're going to enjoy learning this one. You might find it of benefit to have the sheet music in front of you for this one. I will of course be teaching the melody by ear, but I kind of, I guess, take you through the left hand more with this one. So if you have it in front of you, you'll definitely find it beneficial. So let's head over now for the final time to the green screen. It's the final time in front of the Rachel Hare green screen. I hope, as always, this green screen has been a help to you with the learning. Sorry, I've got a wee bit of a squeaky heart today, sort it out. And yeah, we're going to finish off the series with learning this beautiful Manx song air. Beautiful song from the Isle of Man, Arrane Oie Vie, the Goodnight Song. So we're going to start off, and as you would have maybe kind of realised, I've arranged this tune for 3 times round. The original verse, I understand, has 2 verses to it, or the original song has 2 verses for it. I guess with this arrangement, I've really kind of let it kind of breathe for the first time through, and then it kind of starts to flow and it has your ending for it. So we're going to start off by learning the main melody of it, because that doesn't change. I'm going to play it through to you. And then, yeah, we'll have a go at learning that, and then we'll learn the accompaniment. Have a listen to the main melody. Okay, so this is the key that we're doing it in now. This song is kind of obviously kind of played in many different keys, and it's actually been found written in many different keys as well. But for us, I've chosen to go for A natural minor. A natural minor shares the same key signature as C major. So if you're like me and your harp is tuned to E flat major, that will mean that you have your E's, your A's and your B levers engaged. If you have a harp that's tuned to C major, well, it shares the same key as A natural minor, so you don't need to do anything with your harp. Okay, so there's not a lot of repetition in this song, to be honest, but it is only, you know, 8 bars long. See how you get on. And you have 3 chances to play it as well, so don't worry. As a point of reference, there are no Fs in the melody. Okay, you know that I like these wee points of references. So avoid your Fs, and you're a seventh of the way through there with the melody maybe. So we're going to split it into little kind of little sections. Have a listen. It's a similar rhythm throughout though, to be honest, so you have time to breathe between each phrase. Have a listen to our first little section. Okay, so we're starting off, this is actually kind of based around an A minor chord this. Got our fourth finger on E above middle C, our third on A, our second on B, and our thumb on C. And we're simply flowing up that, like this. Okay, and I'm going to give you a count of 2, so it's going to be the same count throughout this. It's going to go 1, 2, and 3. Okay, we're going to use that same count in for every phrase because it has a similar gap between the phrases. Okay, so after 2, and that E is going to start on the and after 2. Okay, together. 1, 2. Reset, we'll go again. 1, 2. Lovely. We're now going to go up 4 in a row from the A. Let's go for that. I'm going to go, in fact, I might count 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, so I'll give you a little bit of extra help with this count, and I'm going to count 1 and 2. You ready? 1 and 2. One more time. 1 and 2. Okay, so this is what we have so far. You ready? 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Nice. Let's reset. Let's try that again. Okay, so we're always going to have this count 1 and 2 before each phrase and between the phrases as well in this tune. You ready? 1 and 2. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Lovely. Have a listen to the next bit. We're going to have a D and 3 E's. Now I like to swap my finger if I've got repeated notes a lot, so I'm going to do that with the E. So I'm going second on D, thumb on E. So this is the higher D and E, and the kind of melodic kind of bits that you use in your harp. So we're going to do 2 on your D, and then play a thumb with your E, a second on your E again, and a thumb again on that E. So we've got. Let's try it together after 1 and 2. 1 and 2. And E, E, E. Let's go for it again. 1 and 2. And now 3 up from C with an extra E at the end. Did you see what happened there? So 3 in a row up from C, third in C, second in D, thumb on E, and we're going to go up that. Excuse me. Try it together. 1 and 2. So let's put those 2 new bits together. So we have a D and 3 E's, and then 3 up from C with an extra E. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Nice. One more time. D and 3 E's. 1 and 2. 1 and 2 up from C. Lovely. Can we put that with our kind of first kind of block of stuff? So I guess maybe we've got our first phrase and our second phrase, those 2 little bits. So our phrase is made up of 2 bits. I don't know, that might help you when you're thinking. Not sure. So our first phrase is the bit that goes like this. And then up from the A to the D. Yeah? Let's try adding that on to that new bit that we just did. After 1 and 2. 1 and 2. 1 and 2 up from A. 1 and 2 D and 3 E's. 1 and 2 up from C. Lovely. Let's go for that again. That's half of our melody. 1 and 2. 1 and 2 up from A, 1 and 2 Ds and E's, 1 and 2 from C. Lovely. Have a listen to our next 4 notes. So we're going round the black F. Remember I told you we've got no Fs in this tune, so you know to avoid that. Second an E, thumb on G. We're going to play that E, and then we're going to play down 3 in a row, but remember no black Fs, so that means we have G, E and D. So we have E, G, E, D. Ready after 1 and 2? 1 and 2. Excellent. One more time. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Down an A triad with a G on the bottom. So thumb and E, second and C, third and A, that's our A triad, and the fourth is going to pop on the G. Reset, we'll go for that. So I'm going to count 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Go for it one more time, that bit. So that's the A triad with the fourth on G at the bottom. 1 and 2. Okay, so we have E, G, E, D, sorry, down the A triad. Let's go for all of that together after 1 and 2. 1 and 2. 1 and 2, A triad with the G. Yeah, let's go for it again. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Excellent. Can we put that on with what we know already? So we've got fourth and E, A, B and C. We're going to go straight up those. Then 4 up from A, D and 3 E's. Then up 3 from C, the extra E. Okay, know where we are? So it's done 3/4 of the melody. After 1 and 2. 1 and 2. 1 and 2 from A. 1 and 2 D's and E's. 1 and 2 from C. 1 and 2 E and down from G. 1 and 2 A triad with G. Lovely. We're on to our final section now of the melody. So second on A, or you could use your third, to be honest, it's up to you for this little bit. I think I'm going to use my second for just now. I'm going to play my A, and then I'm going to go 3 down from C. So 1 and C, second and D, second and B, sorry, and third and A. So we have A and down 3 from C. After 1 and 2. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Nice. One more time for those 4 little notes. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Okay, it's a little bit of a different rhythm for this, but so far we've just been having runs of quavers, to be honest. We're going to have a crotchet now, okay, our quarter beat. We've got E, so you can use your third to 1, although to be honest, if you repeat your note, it's not that big of a deal. This is a slower, this, folks. So we've got E, A. So the timing of that will go 1 and 2 and 3, 1. Let's try it together. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. Go for it again. E, 2 E's and an A. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. Nice. So that new section that we just did. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. Let's go together. Well done, folks. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Again, I had a wee bit of I'm not sure if I got that right myself there. Let's go for it again. 1 and 2. I got it right. I hope you did too. Okay, sweet. So that's all of your main melody for the tune. We'll play it all through in a second. In fact, we might try and play it through twice. But we're going to play it very strictly just now, as in kind of, you know, it's very much to the beat. But I would encourage you to push and pull this when you're actually playing it with the arrangement. So to refresh you, you have E, A, B and C for the first bit flowing up. So it's all quavers, all 8th notes. And then you have 4, 3, 2, 1 up from A to D. And then D and 3 E's. 3 up from C to that E. Then you had round the F at the top. Yes, that was E, G, A, D. Down the A triad with the G at the bottom. Then our ending section, A and down 3 from C. And then E, E, A. Okay, hopefully you've got it. In fact, let's see if we can do it all 3 times. Doesn't hurt to repeat. Okay, so we're just going to go straight into it once we finish it. Okay, and it's always kind of 1 and 2 between bits. I'll start off by counting 1 and 2 at the start. The second and the third times I'm going to stop and I'm going to bring back and see if you can get it with me. After 2 from the start. 1 and 2. And 2. And 2. 1 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 and 2. And 2. Well done. Did you spot where I had to sneeze there? I kind of managed to disguise that quite well, I think. If you spotted, well done. So, right folks, let's have a look at the left hand arrangement that I've done this. So the kind of way that I've done this is the first part has a lot of time to breathe the first time round, and then second time I start to introduce some flowing chords. Third time is actually the same, but I'm adding in some chords in the right hand as well. And we actually have the coda section for the piece. That's the bit where they're kind of singing Oie Vie, the actual kind of good night part. And I've extended that a little bit for the harp. So I'm going to play you what we're going to have for the first time round, and then I'll take you through it. You might find it useful to have the music in front of you for this. Have a listen. And I'm going to play it really with a lot of space as well for just now, okay? So I kind of changed a little bit there, I felt at the end. I kind of think I mucked around in the timing there, but we shall do it as I'm meant to be doing it now. I'm going to teach you it correctly. We're going to start off with an A triad. Okay, so all these left hand notes are going to come on the last note of the melody phrases. Okay, so those, it's going to come with that C for this first one. So your first phrase now, we have E, A, B and C. And we're going to have an A triad. So you need to watch out here because you can't place on your left hand until you've finished playing that part of the melody. So I tend to just put the left hand on just before I'm playing the C. I'm brushing up that A triad in the middle of the harp. So A triad with the C. Let's see if we can add that on. 1 and 2. Lovely. Now we're going to be going up 4 from A to D. With the left hand we're going to keep our third finger in the A, but our second and our thumb are going to move up 2 notes to the D and the F. So they were an A, C, E, now they're going to be an A, D, F. I'm brushing. Okay, so that's like a D triad with an A in the bass, and that's going to come with the D. Okay, can you place on that triad? Well, it's not a triad, sorry, that chord, A, D, F. And then we're going to go up 4 from A after 1 and 2, and the left hand's going to play with that D at the top. 1 and 2. Lovely. Let's try that again. 1 and 2. Great. So this is what we have. Together. We're going to keep it quite regiment with the timing just now so that you can play it along with me, but as I kind of played earlier, you want to push and pull out this one. After 2, 1 and 2. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. A, D, F, now with the D. Lovely. We're going to keep this bottom A in the left hand now, but we're going to have an A158, so that's A, E, A, that popular chord, I'm sure you're all used to it. And that's going to happen with the last of the E's, with that E there. So it will sound like this. Let's see if we can do that together. 1 and 2. Excellent. One more time. 1 and 2. Great. Let's add that in now. We're just going to keep on repeating these bits. It gives you good practice. A triad at the start. 1 and 2. And 2. And 2. A chord. Lovely. Have a listen to the next bit. We're going to move to an E. Okay, so we're going to have an E158, so it's going to be what I term as the first metal E, although I have since learned that not all harps have that E as a metal E. It's your first E in your bass. E, B, E, and E158. And I like to finish off by playing, and you can do this too, an E octave at the end. So go 1 and 2. So 1 and 2. So when that goes together, it will go like this. It's going to go with the second D at the top here. 1 and 2. Well, let's try it together. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Go for it again. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Lovely. Let's even go from the start. So A triad, A, D, F, A chord, E chord, low E octave. Okay, so that's kind of half of your first time round already. After 2. 1 and 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 2. Lovely. Go for it. Let's go for it again. You know I like to repeat after 2. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Lovely. have a listen to what's going to happen next. We're going to start to make flowing chords instead, but nothing too tricky. Okay, so we have a D158, D-A-D, the dead chord, up, flowing up that chord, everything up one note to an E158, so E-B-E. Using 4-2-1 of course for those chords. D, then E. Okay, so where our melody is at that point is we have E, G, E, D, and with that D is when your D chord's going to come in. Okay, let's just try that together. 1 and 2. Excellent. Now you're moving to an E chord, and at that point our right hand is going to be in the A triad with the G on the bottom. Yeah, so E, C, A, G. Yeah. 1 and 2. Yeah, let's try that then. So a D chord and then an E chord. 1 and 2. And 2. E chord. Well done. Go for it again. 1 and 2. This is about where I think I made the left hand up when I played to you. Yeah, see, I totally made that up even when I was playing there. So that's what I meant to do there. Okay, I should practice this a little bit more. Dear me, sorry. E octave with the A. It's the last workshop. I've done well without making big mistakes. So we've got an A. Remember our melody there? With that last A, we're going to have an E octave right down the bottom of your harp, okay? And 2 and 3, 4. And the D chord is going to come with the A. I think I was playing it before. Dear me, I'm going to play that to you again. Have a listen. Can you join in with me this time? So we're going to have an E chord with the A. And 2 and 3. D chord, D158, right down the bottom, D-A-D with that last A there. Okay, let's try that. Get ready with your E octave. 1 and 2. 1 and 2 and 3. 1. Yeah, go for it again. 1 and 2. 1, 2, and 3, and 1. Lovely. Okay, great work. So you had an A triad with your first bit. Then you had A D-F. Then you had an A158 with the last E. Then you had an E158 here. And down to an E octave. D with the D. E with the G. E octave with the last A here. 1 and 2 and 3 and D chord. Like that. Okay, are you ready to try it with me? We'll keep the rhythm quite straight just now, but as ever, push and pull it when you're playing it by yourself. You ready? Your A triad. 1 and 2. Onto your D chord now with the D. E comes with the last G here. And then E octave. 2 and 3 and D chord. Good. Okay, so that's our first time through. So as I was saying, I really push and pull it. And I'm going to leave a big pause there before I go into the second time, and have a listen to the second time round. More flowing. to be pretty much the same chords, okay? Although, well, they are the same chords. We've got to watch out for the very start from when we had the A triad and then the D with the A and the bass, okay? But it's going to pretty much be the same harmony. So to start off with, a lot of these chords, what we're going to do is we're going to turn them into A158. So we're going to flow up and then fall back and play the middle note of the chord, the fifth note of the chord again. Okay, so we've got A, E, A, and we're going to have it, it's going to start off like this. So it's going to go as ever with the C. But because we're going to fall back, it's going to match up with the E, with the B of that, because that's on beat 3. We've got 1 and 2 and 3 and then you're onto your D chord. Okay, so let's start off by just flowing these 2 chords actually, and then we'll flow the next one. So we're going to have a low A158, and then we're going to have a D158 just above that, D, A, D. And then a high A158. Let's see if we can fit those in. So they're going to come in the same place that our chords came in. Okay, so it'll be the last note of that melodic pattern. Are you ready? 1 and 2. 1 and 2. D chord now. And then A chord. Nice. Let's try that again. Okay, 1 and 2. And 2. D with the D. A with the last E. Good. Keep the left hand the same here. Okay, so we're adding in our E158 and our E octave as we did before. Let's go for that again. 1 and 2. To work in the last note of these chords when we're falling back onto them. Okay, let's just play through that chord pattern together. Okay, so that last note is going to come on beat 3. Going to count to 3, 2, 3, 1 and 2, 3, 1 and 2, 3, 1 and 2, 3. So the way that that's going to match up is it's going to go with the second note of your phrases after the second phrase. So have a listen. Start your next phrase and with the second note that note comes. Do you see how that works? Yeah? Let's see if we can get that going. 1 and 2. With the second note, so that means B and the E together. Now your D chord starts. Start your next phrase with the second note. That's the last note of that chord comes in with the second note, which is the D. Okay, so our phrases are starting to kind of overlap here a little bit. Do you know what I mean? They're just kind of starting to kind of go like that. I'm trying to kind of make the picture in the camera. I'm not sure if that's really working well. So watch out for that. Okay, let's see if we can get that going. 1 and 2. The second note. E158 and E octave. Lovely, well done. So you might need to practice matching that bit up. Our next phrase is a D chord as we had before. Now before we had a D158 and an E158 with the G. We're going to keep that going, but we're going to have extra 2 notes. We're going to extend that D158, so that means we're crossing under and adding E and F on. Okay, let's see if we can get that going. 1 and 2. Add the next 2 notes on, which match up with that bit there. Did you see how that happened? So we've got, because we're crossing under and extending, that's going to match up with it coming down the A triad. So it'll be together, together, and then you've got your E chord. Let's see if we can get that going. 1 and 2. notes under, together, together, and then E chord. Try again. 1 and 2. E chord, excellent. And we're going to fall back on that E chord again. It's going to come with the middle of these the 4 notes. Okay, so that'll sound a little bit weird by itself, but don't worry. E158 at the bottom this time. And then a D158 as before. Okay, so before you had an E octave, now we're going to have an E158 at the bottom, and then a D158 at the bottom. Okay, let's try it again. Just, yeah, let's go for all that. 1 and 2. Extend that, together, together, E158 now, fall back so it ends up with a C, E158, and D158. Good. One more time that section, so D158 extended. 1 and 2. Lovely. Okay, let's try and see if we can do all of that flowing left hand then. Are you ready? So this is the second time through. On your A chord, remember these are falling back, D chord falling back, then A chord falling back. E is before. Okay? 1 and 2. Extended, E, low E, and low D. Nice, well done. So that's our second time through. For the third time through, we're going to keep exactly the same left hand, but we have the ending to contend with, and we have, well, I've also added in some extra right hand chords. Have a listen. Working is every time at the last note you're adding in the chord notes that are below the melody notes that make up the chord that you're going to be playing in your left hand. So our first chord, for example, is that A chord. So that means we want to follow with the 2 notes below that melody note that make up the A chord. Okay, so in this case our melody note is in the C. Remember, an A chord has A, C and E in them. So the nearest note below C that has an A, that is part of an A chord, is the A. Nearest note below that is therefore the E. So we have E, A and C. Okay, so you do 3, 2, 1 or 4, 2, 1. So it will sound like this. Okay, let's see if we can get that after 2. 1 and 2. Excellent. Our next part, we've got a D chord in our bass, so we want to fill in the nearest notes below that melody note that make up a D chord. So our thumb is on the D already. Go down, there's no, C doesn't make up a D chord, B doesn't make up a D chord, but A does, so we can use that. G doesn't make up a D chord, but F does. So there we have our F, A, D is what we're going to be going for. Okay, so let's just add that in now from the start, see if we can get that going. Okay, you might need to pause and kind of look at this bit by yourself, but at least I'm kind of taking you through it. 1 and 2. Excellent. The next bit, you've got an E in your melody and your left hand is on the A chord. Okay, so we want to make up another A chord with our right hand. D isn't part of an A chord, but C is. B isn't, but A is, okay? You can still play that even though your left hand is going to be using that A. You have enough time to play it with your right hand before you use it with your left hand. So we've got, okay, so that's how you're going to add in the chord there. Next bit is an E chord in your left hand and an E in your right hand. So as ever, find those notes that are below that melody note that happen to be in common with the E chord. So that means we're going to have E, B and G, like that. Okay, so that's how you would kind of add in chords. Look at what your left hand is doing, what chord it is, then add in notes that are below it that happen to be from that chord as well. That's how you can kind of add those in. So I've done that all the way down pretty much until, well, kind of 5 bars in, then I start to rein it in. So have a listen to how that's going to sound. I'm going to count in case you want to try along with me. So we're going to be starting off with an A chord. 1 and 2. Now we have our D chord. It's an A triad in our right hand there. And E chord. This time we have the D chord, but this is when I've chosen to kind of chill it out, okay? At that point, that's where I would normally bring my E octave, but I'm actually going to leave that out because that's when the melody changes. Let's play up to there again, just from that section. 1 and 2. Of the song where they sing Oie Vie, okay, the kind of goodnight song, and the timing changes, but to be honest, for the purpose of this arrangement, I'm really reining it back in tempo wise as well. Have a listen to what's going to happen. Okay, so what's happening here is we have, which we had before, that's the same phrase as before. 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 1 and 2. So it's changing into 2 beats here. So we have our A and down 3 from the C. 1 and 2. Let's just play that together after 1 and 2. 1 and 2. 1 and 2 and 1. So this is where our timing changes. We're going to add on B, A, E. Okay, so it's going to sound 1 and 2 and 1, 2. Okay, let's try it together. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. B, A, E. Good. And then we're going to have so E, A. It's going to go 1 and 2 and 1. Okay. Let's add on that Oie Vie wee bit. You ready? 1 and 2. 1 and 2 and 1, 2. 1 and 2. 1, 2, 1. Okay, so we're going to add on after that. We're going to add on, we're going to go up the octave and we're going to repeat that bit. Okay, so we're going to have E, E, A. Okay, and then we're going to go right up to the top of your harp. This is when you need to make sure you have these strings. Okay, it's slightly out of tune there. I think my lever is probably a little bit kind of not regulated there. So have a listen to how that will work in practice. So our left hand that we're going to do, E158, E, A, E, then an A158, 2, then we have E, same idea, A158 together, up top, yeah, okay, so when you're playing the da, da, that will go together, then okay? Leave lots of space with it. Although it is in twos, you can push and pull and really do have a big ral in that. So have a listen to how I would play it. Okay, so let's see if we can kind of do that ending together with the third time round the tune, see how we can get it going. It's always a little bit trickier, isn't it, with song ears to play them together, but hopefully I've managed to take you right through this tune. Are you ready? 1 and 2. Start to ral. Nice. There we go. Nice one. So let's head back to the fireplace now, and you can maybe try and play along with me. I know it is hard to play along with slow airs. I'm not going to play the full thing for you just now, because it would be exactly as I play at the fireplace. Hopefully you've enjoyed doing that one. Arrane Oie Vie. Huge thank you to Ruth for singing it as well. And yeah, let's head back to the fireplace, and then it's time for our last ever blether of series 3. Oh, traumatic times, folks. So yeah, let's head back and I'll play it to you again at the fireplace. There you have it. That was our final tune of series 3. Goodness me. Final workshop. So I really hope you've enjoyed series 3. We're on to our final blether. I haven't got a cup of tea today. I've actually got just some water, some fine Glasgow water, and a rather faded Lorient cup, which is the Isle of Man one, of course, because we were speaking to Ruth, and our tune was from the Isle of Man. I'm filming this on a Friday afternoon, and it's currently 3:20. My coffee shop, my favourite coffee shop. No, not my favourite coffee shop. Well, I think I went on about Tulipane. I really like, because it does the paninis. It shuts at 3. I want to go a little further along to Meadow Road to get a flat white and a brownie as my treat for getting through the week, because it's been a really busy week. So I'm not having a coffee or tea just now, because I'm going to have that in a wee while. So yeah, hence why I've got my glass of water. So that is my reward for Friday night. How time has changed, eh? You know, it's exactly a year ago now. Exactly a year since we announced to the world that the Edinburgh International Harp Festival was cancelled last year. It was the first major event to get cancelled as part of the pandemic, and goodness, it's crazy looking back. Like, it's been on Facebook memories, and I've had a few folk text me today about it, just saying it's really weird looking back at the shock and the horror of people going, this is ridiculous, that's madness, why are you cancelling it? when we didn't have a choice to cancel. It was our venue that cancelled. And yeah, we didn't really know how things were going to be working out, did we? We didn't really think that we'd be in this position a year on. But we're in this position a year on, and we managed to organise a virtual Edinburgh International Harp Festival, which I guess is where these workshops came out of, because my skills at editing for that allowed me to do skills for editing harp at home, and gave me the kind of, yeah, it made me kind of want to do these workshops. So yeah, I have a lot to be thankful, I guess, weirdly. And of course the Edinburgh International Harp Festival is now on sale now, and it's online again, but I'm really excited because I don't have to edit any of it. We have the amazing Sam Harp who's going to edit it. He's done a lot of work for me before. He edited the Fraser Shaw Kai Sandy film for me, and he's done like the photos of me and Ron, some of them, he's taken some of those for us as well. So, and he did actually the video of looking at a rainbow in Redford Cottage. He's a good guy. He's from the Isle of Man as well. Everyone's connected to the Isle of Man. So yeah, that I guess is the major thing that's happening. That's why I've been so busy this week. Just kind of like, we keep on opening new courses because they're so popular. So we have a heap of new courses, well, repeat courses. So there's lots of spaces. So if you haven't booked your space for an online course, go and have a look at harpfestival.co.uk, because there are still spaces remaining, including on my course. Do investigate that. I am teaching completely new material, so there won't be any repeats of Harp at Home or other workshops. So yeah, that's going to keep me busy, very busy, and it has been. So yeah, that's been going on this week. What else has been going on? Oh, my Paddy Callahan sweatshirt arrived. Huge thank you again to Paddy for chatting to us last week. He has a trad disco tonight, actually. It's Friday, so it'll be too late by the time you tune in, but there's another one, I think, this coming Friday. I'll put the dates in the PDF. I promised him I would. Do tune into that. He's a good guy, and I'm really liking this jumper. It's got that whole new jumper thing, you know, when you get a new sweatshirt, like looking back at your old school sweatshirts and it's furry inside. It's totally like that, and I know it's only going to last until the first wash, so I'm just enjoying the furriness and the comfort of it being inside. So yeah, so big up to Paddy for the cool merchandise. I might get some merchandise at some point. I don't really know. Maybe I should get t-shirts? I don't know. Harp at Home merchandise? Could that be a thing? Got my button badges, Harp at Home button badges. Remember, if you order a book or something from me, you'll get that. Book or CD. Send you that. Yeah. That podcast, the Harp Chakra, is now online. You can check that out. See, I'm trying to wrap my brains of things that I was going to tell you. Sign up to my newsletter on rachelhere.com and Harp at Home, because I really want to keep you up to date with that crowdfunder with Ruth. Yeah, I am so hopeful that goes well. I really, really do, people supporting me. So there's going to be lots of rewards. We had a meeting the other day, like, you'll be able to get a harp lesson with me, or a Manx language or Manx song lesson with Ruth. So yeah, that would be really cool. If you fancy that, sign up to it. And it's a way of supporting me, of supporting the project, and you'll get your CD and you'll get a lesson with us. So that's things. What else are we going? I will write you a tune if you want. And if you're a harp player, I can totally write you one that maybe suits your style, or perhaps you could tell me what Harp at Home piece you really like, and I can try to see if I can write to that style so that you have your own tune to play on your harp. Yeah. So I'm excited about that. If you're in the UK, I'm also going to make some Scottish tablet. So that's going to be part of the rewards. I think you can buy more than one reward, actually. So if you're wanting the tablet and the lesson, I'm sure we can make it happen. If you message me, I'll take a note of all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so that's kind of the big thing that's coming up. And yeah, other than that, not much has really been going on here. I mean, that's all been keeping me busy, to be honest. But Glasgow, I mean, it's spring. The flowers are starting to flourish, which is good. It's lighter in the evenings. That's good. Still can't go and see family. That's not so good. But there's talk on the 15th of March of things maybe easing ever so slightly. And I think when that means that we might be able to sit in someone's garden with 3 other folk. Although only from 2 households. But that's really good because it's my friend Joy's birthday on the 13th of March. So I'll be able to go round to her garden on the 15th. maybe with her and her brother, because she's in an extended household with her brother and her brother's girlfriend. So yeah, I think we can maybe do that for her birthday, which will be really nice. So that's something to look forward to. But yeah, and oh, I'm also filming in April, which I'm quite excited. I'm filming for the Harp Festival. Okay, I'm gonna let you, will I tell you? Oh, okay, I'm gonna tell you where we're filming. Okay, I'm not gonna publicise this anywhere, because we're not meant to tell you yet. Although maybe, I don't know, I'm gonna tell you. Okay, so we are filming part of our Harp Festival film. So there'll be one artist every night who will be filmed by the festival. Everyone else is like filming at home all around the world. And I'm one of the artists that's getting filmed because obviously I live in Scotland, and the venue that we're not using Merkson Castle, we're using somewhere a little bit cooler than that. We're going to be using Greyfriars Kirk in Edinburgh. Have you ever heard of the story of Greyfriars, Bobby? It's a very famous church in Edinburgh. It is beautiful. So we're going to be filming there. So that's coming up. I'm so excited about that, and I get to film with Ron. So we've got that coming up and filming for the festival. We're also doing a little bit of filming for the Chad Music Forum, I think it is. I'm not totally sure. Got that coming up. So yeah, everything's in front of a camera these days, isn't it? So yeah, got that coming up. And that will kind of take us, I think, right up into the Harp Festival. And then, I don't know, I'm going to get to breathe after the Harp Festival. I don't know. I mean, got to plan mine and Ruth's album. Lots of practice been doing that and kind of arranging. Hopefully get to Isle of Man in the summer, see how that goes. We hope to record the album in August. If not, we can push it back to September. We have time on our side for that just now, and we have the vaccine on our side, which is a huge thing. So yeah, that's the plan. And then the summer, of course, I have Somerset Harp Festival, Ohio Scottish Art School, Common Ground in the Hill. They're going to be amazing. Going to be living in American time zones again, which is always good fun. And yeah, and maybe I might do another harp book. Thinking of doing that. I will maybe do that in advance of the summer. It might be really cool to actually kind of maybe launch at one of those festivals. There's an idea. Yeah, might speak to some of the festivals about that. See, thinking out loud, folks. Right, listen, thank you so much for tuning in to Harp at Home. This is the 3rd series. We won't have a full 4 series. What I'm going to be doing is mini series, okay? So, and they're just going to be done when the time's right. So we might find that we've maybe just got a group of 2 episodes or something. I'm going to time that for when I'm not busy with other things. I really want to do a couple of episodes from the Isle of Man. Okay, so that's my goal. Not sure when that will happen. So we're not going to have a full big long series, but we're going to have mini series, I guess. That is what the plan is. So keep an eye out for that. I will put up the Harp at Home suite video, as I said, at some point soon over the next few weeks. I'm also going to have the chance for you to download the full series, 3 Music as a winner if you haven't done so already. I'll sort that out. And you can also, of course, download the whole Series 1 and Series 2 as well as individual PDFs. So yeah, listen, thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all your messages, for your other donations, and for buying the PDF. It really has, it seriously helped us out. Just means I can breathe a little bit and I can continue to be a musician and a teacher. I'm really so grateful. This has kept me going. It really has, both mentally and financially and as a musician. So thank you. Take care. Look after yourself. Keep in touch, okay? Reach out, message me or whatever. And I will see you again, not sure when, but at some point for a mini series. And thank you. Take care.